Your silence has more power than you know. Right now, in this moment, something extraordinary is happening in your life, but you must understand this truth. Look at the mighty oak tree. Before it dominated the forest, before it stretched its branches toward heaven, it grew in complete silence. No one heard it rising from the ground. No one witnessed its daily growth. But today, it stands majestic, unshakable, commanding respect without saying a word. I want you to grasp this.
Joe, that sounds great, but
Nature's
how
most
do I
powerful
actually
forces
do
operate
it?
in
Well, I'm
absolute
glad you
silence.
asked. It all
The
starts
sun
with
doesn't make a
understanding the
sound
power
as
of
it
your
rises
mind
every
and your
morning,
ability to shape
yet
your
it
own
holds the power
reality.
to light up
You
our
see,
entire world. The earth doesn't announce it's spinning, yet it moves with perfect precision. Your body doesn't broadcast the beating of your heart, yet it pumps life through your veins every second of every day. You see, there's a divine secret hidden in silence. When a lion hunts, it doesn't roar. It stays quiet, focused, strategic. The moment it roars is after it has secured its victory. Too many people today are roaring before their victory, but they're announcing their plans before they're ready. They're speaking when they should be preparing. It says, think about the last time you achieved something significant. Wasn't it born in moments of quiet preparation? Wasn't it shaped in times of silent determination? The greatest victories of your life are waiting on the other side of your strategic silence. Your next breakthrough isn't in what you say. It's in what you don't say. This message isn't just about keeping quiet. It's about understanding that your words carry weight. Every time you open your mouth, you're either building your future or breaking it down. You're either moving closer to your purpose or drifting away from it. God has given you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. To listen twice as much as you speak. Think about the words that come out of your mouth right now. Every single word you speak has the force to create or destroy.
Chemical, and you start to
Bible
feel
tells us that life and
exactly
death
the way
rest
you
in the
were
power of the
thinking.
tongue.
And then you start
This isn't
thinking
just
the way you
spiritual
feel,
talk.
and you feel the way
It's
you
practical
think.
wisdom for your
It's a
everyday
cycle
life.
that keeps you,
You know those
stuck
people who always
in
have
the
to fill
same
the silence?
patterns day after day.
The ones who can't
You
stop
can
talking
break
about their problems,
that
their plans,
cycle.
their opinions.
You can change your thoughts,
Watch carefully.
and in doing so,
They often
you
struggle
can
to achieve
change
their
your
biggest
entire
goals.
life. And
Right?
it doesn't take
Because
years
they're
of
leaking their
therapy
power through
or
their words.
radical life changes.
They're
It can happen in
spreading
just
their energy
72
thin
hours.
instead of
Now, I
concentrating
know
it where
what
it
you're
matters.
thinking.
Let me tell you about 3 types of silence that will transform your life. First, there's strategic silence. This is when you keep your plans quiet until they're ready to be revealed. Think about a pregnant woman. She doesn't announce her pregnancy the day after conception. She waits until the right time. Your dreams and goals need that same protection. Then there's learning silence. This is when you shut your mouth to open your mind. You can't pour into a cup that's already full, and you can't learn while you're talking. Some of you are missing wisdom because you're too busy sharing your own opinions. The richest people in the room are often the quietest. They're gathering intelligence while others are giving away their knowledge for free. The third type is protective silence. This is when you guard your peace by choosing not to respond to every provocation. Not every argument needs your participation. Not every opinion needs your correction. Not every situation needs your voice. Sometimes your silence is your best defense. You see, controlling your speech isn't about being weak or passive. It's about being powerful and strategic. When you master your mouth, you master your life. Every word you don't say can be a brick in the foundation of your success. Remember this in business meetings, in family discussions, in everyday conversations. The person who speaks the least often holds the most power. They're not silent because they have nothing to say. They're silent because they understand the value of their words. I want you to start thinking about your words as currency. Would you throw your money around carelessly? Would you spend it without thinking? Then why do you do that with your words? Your words are more valuable than money. You can make more money, but you can never take back words once they're spoken. Look, every great success story has a season of silence. Look at the butterfly. It goes through its most dramatic transformation in complete quiet, hidden in its cocoon. That's your season right now. While others are making noise, you're making progress. While they're announcing, you're advancing. You see, there's a depth of strength that only comes through quiet preparation. Think about a tree's roots. They grow strongest in complete darkness, pushing deeper and deeper into the soil. Nobody sees this growth, but without it, the tree can't stand tall. Your silence is building your roots. Let me share something powerful with you. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people often lies in their response to pressure. Unsuccessful people react. They spill out whatever thoughts come to mind. Successful people respond. They take time to process, to think, to strategize. This gap between event and response, that's your power zone. I know a business leader who turned his company around not by talking more, but by talking less. He started listening in meetings instead of dominating them. He waited before making decisions. He stopped reacting to every crisis. People thought he was losing his grip, but in reality, he was gaining control. Within a year, his company's profits doubled. Why? Because he learned that leadership often speaks loudest through silence. Your silence builds inner wisdom. When you're not busy talking, you're free to observe. You notice patterns others miss. You see opportunities others overlook. You hear what's not being said. This is how you develop what others call intuition. But it's really just the fruit of disciplined silence. Some of the most powerful people in history mastered the art of silence. They understood that empty vessels make the most noise. They knew the true power isn't in dominating conversations, it's in controlling them through strategic silence. Think about water. When it's shallow, it makes noise. But deep water moves in silence. Your depth is revealed not by how much you speak, but by how wisely you stay silent. There's a divine purpose in your silence. When you study the greatest spiritual truths, you'll find they weren't revealed in noise and chaos. They came in moments of quiet reflection. Your Creator speaks most clearly when your mouth is closed and your heart is open. Remember Moses? He spent 40 years in quiet preparation before he was ready for his purpose. That wasn't wasted time, it was training time. Every second of silence was building something in him that couldn't be built any other way. Some of you are fighting your silent season, but it's actually preparing you for your greatest mission. This isn't just about meditation, though that's important. This is about understanding that spiritual wisdom flows best through a quiet vessel. When you're constantly talking, constantly making noise, you're creating static that blocks divine guidance. It's like trying to tune into a radio station while you're shouting. Your quiet time isn't just rest time. It's revelation time. It's when your spirit aligns with divine purpose. It's when you can hear the still small voice that guides you toward your destiny. But you have to be quiet enough to hear it. In these moments of silence, something supernatural happens. Your spirit grows stronger. Your vision becomes clearer. Your purpose gets sharper. You're not just being quiet. Every moment of silence is like a seed planted in the garden of your spirit. There's a reason why every major spiritual tradition includes practices of silence. They understood what many of us have forgotten. That divine wisdom doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you want to hear a whisper, you have to be very, very quiet. Think about this. When you pray, do you spend all your time talking? Or do you take time to listen? Real prayer isn't a monologue. It's a dialogue. And sometimes the most powerful prayers are the ones where you don't say anything at all. Stop and count the cost of your unnecessary words. Every time you speak without thinking, you're paying a price. Every time you let loose words fly from your mouth, you're creating a debt your future self will have to pay. Let me tell you about opportunities that die because of loose talk. I've seen $1 million deals collapse because someone couldn't keep quiet at the right time. I've watched relationships shatter because people couldn't hold their tongue. I've witnessed dreams die because they were exposed to the wrong people at the wrong time. You know what's the biggest mistake people make? Announcing their plans too soon. When you tell everyone about your goals before they're ready, you're setting yourself up for failure. You release the energy you need for doing by spending it all on talking. It's like puncturing a tire before starting a race. You're losing vital pressure. You'll need for the journey. Why do people talk too much? Let's be honest here. Fear makes us talk. When we're afraid of silence, when we're uncomfortable with the quiet, We fill it with words. But that fear is costing you your future. Insecurity makes us talk too. Some of you are talking constantly because you're trying to prove your worth. You think your words will convince others of your value. But real value doesn't need constant verbal proof. True word speaks for itself. And then there's the need for validation. You share everything because you want people to approve, to support, to validate your choices. But here's the truth. The more you need others' approval, the less power you have over your own life. Look at how many people destroy their own success simply because they couldn't keep quiet. They tell the wrong person their business idea. They share their struggles with people who use that information against them. They broadcast their plans before they're strong enough to withstand public opinion. Let me give you real tools to master a mouth. These aren't just ideas. These are battle-tested strategies that will transform your life starting today. First, you need daily silence practices. Start with just 5 minutes. Sit in complete quiet, no phone, no TV, no music. Just you and your thoughts. It'll feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. Your mind will try to fill the silence. So stay there. Build up to 15 minutes, then 30. This is your training ground for self-control. Here's something powerful. The 24-hour pause principle. Before you respond to any situation that stirs your emotions, wait 24 hours. Write your response if you need to, but don't send it. Don't say it. Just wait. You'll be amazed how different your response will be after 24 hours of quiet reflection before you speak. Run your words through 3 questions. First, is it necessary? Most of what we say isn't needed. Second, is it true? Not just factually true, but true in spirit. Third, is it beneficial? These words build up or tear down. Learn to recognize your trigger points. Those moments when you're most likely to talk too much. Is it when you're nervous?
Real growth
Excited,
happens when we step out of
angry.
our comfort
When you
zones
identify
and
these triggers,
challenge
you can
our
prepare for
existing
them.
beliefs and
Have
patterns.
a plan ready.
And that's
Maybe it's
exactly
taking a
what we're
deep
going
breath.
to do over the next
Maybe
72
it's excusing
hours.
yourself for a
First,
moment.
let's talk about the power
Maybe
of
it's having a
meditation.
phrase ready that
When
buys
you
you time to
meditate,
think. Practicing strategic pauses in conversations. When someone asks you a question, don't jump to answer. Take a moment. Think. This small pause does 2 things. It shows others you're thoughtful, and it gives you time to form a better response. Here's the powerful technique. For every word you want to say, think of it as costing you $100.
72 hours. That's
you
all
still
it
say
takes to
everything you're planning to
change
say?
your life. You might be
Would you
thinking
choose your
that's
words more
impossible.
carefully?
How can just 3
Start
days
treating
make
your
such a
words
big
like they're
difference?
expensive because
But
they
I'm
are
here to
silent,
tell
your
you that
default setting.
it's not only
Instead
possible.
of thinking about what to say, start thinking about what not to say. Most conversations don't need your input. Most situations don't need your commentary. Most opinions don't need your reinforcement. Here's what happens when you start treating your words like they're worth $100 each. Your relationships transform. People begin to lean in when you speak because they know you only talk when you have something valuable to say. Your words gain weight. When you finally share your thoughts, others stop to listen. Have you noticed how the most respected people in any room rarely speak first? They observe, they process. They let others reveal their hands first. This isn't just about being quiet, it's about being strategic. Think about a game of chess. The masters and the ones who move quickly and the ones who understand the power of patience. When silence becomes your default setting, you start to notice things you missed before. You see the subtle shifts in people's expressions. You hear the meaning behind their words. You pick up on opportunities that others miss because they're too busy talking. In your workplace, this practice becomes your secret advantage. While others are busy proving their worth through endless talk, you're building your value through strategic
Happens.
silence.
You start to become
Think about
aware
it.
of the
How
thoughts
often
and
have you
beliefs
heard
that have
someone
been
talk
running your
themselves out
life
of
on
a promotion?
autopilot. And once
Part
you're
of the
aware of
deal.
that,
Out of an opportunity, simply because they couldn't keep quiet, family life changes too. When you stop filling every silence with words, you create space for deeper connections. Your children start sharing more because they know you're really listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Your partner feels more heard because when you do speak, it's meaningful. This practice ripples into every area of your life. Your decision making improves because you're not rushing to vocalize every thought. Your stress levels drop because you're no longer feeling pressure to have an opinion on everything. Your creative thinking expands because you've given your mind the quiet it needs to innovate. But here's the part most people miss. Silence builds your inner strength. Every time you choose not to speak when you don't need to, you're building self-control. Every time you resist the urge to fill a quiet moment with empty words, this isn't just about communication. It's about personal power. He said, how many conflicts could be avoided if we treated our words as precious resources? Think about the last argument you had.
Day
How
visualizing
many
your
of those words were
ideal
worth
life.
$100?
And I don't mean just daydreaming and really putting
Those
yourself in
conflicts
that future
escalate,
reality. What
not
does it
because
look
of the
like?
initial
What does it
problem,
feel like? Use all your
but
senses.
because of all the
If you
unnecessary
want a
words
new
that
job,
follow.
see yourself
In
walk.
business negotiations, this principle becomes even more valuable. When you speak less, you reveal less. You maintain the upper hand because others don't know what you're thinking. Your silence makes them uncomfortable, and in that discomfort, they often reveal more than they intended. Social media has made this challenge even greater. We are constantly pressured to share, comment, and react to everything. But what if you approach your online presence with the same $100 per word mentality? What if you only share things that truly added value? Your influence would likely grow, not shrink. Because people would know that when you post something, it's worth reading. This principle extends to your personal development too. When you're learning something new, being quiet helps you absorb more. Instead of trying to show what you know, you focus on filling the gaps in your knowledge. This accelerates your growth because you're not wasting energy proving yourself. You're investing it in improving yourself. Leadership takes on a new dimension when you master this. True authority doesn't come from talking the loudest or the most. It comes from knowing when to speak and when to listen. Your team starts to trust your words more because they know you don't waste them. Your directions carry more weight because they're not diluted by unnecessary commentary. Think about the great leaders you admire. How many of them are known for talking constantly? Usually, it's quite the opposite. They speak with purpose, with intention, with clarity. They understand that their words have the power to move markets, to inspire action, to change lives. They treat their words as the valuable currency they are. This practice requires discipline, especially at first. You'll feel the urge to speak, to share your opinion, to jump into conversations. But ask yourself, is what I'm about to say worth $100? Is it necessary? Would it add value? Will it move me closer to my goals or further away? Start small. In your next meeting, challenge yourself to speak only when absolutely necessary. In your next family dinner, focus on listening more than talking. In your next conflict, pause before responding. Treat each word as a valuable investment, not a casual expense. Watch how people's perception of you changes. Notice how your relationships deepen. Observe how your influence grows. This isn't about becoming silent. It's about becoming strategic with your words. It's about understanding that every word you speak is an investment in your future. And like any investment, it should be made wisely. So the power of strategic silence isn't just in what you don't say. It's in how it shapes what you do say. When you speak less, your words carry more impact. When you choose your moments carefully, your voice becomes more influential. When you treat your words as valuable currency, others start to treasure them too. Remember, in a world where everyone is talking,
you can start
silence
to change
is a
them.
superpower.
Now, let's talk about
Use
the
it
power
wisely,
of
use it
visualization.
strategically,
Your brain
and
doesn't
watch how
know
it
the difference
transforms every
between
area
what's
of your
happening
life.
in your physical. Walking into your
Your
new
words are
office,
worth more than $100.
feel the excitement and
They're
confidence.
priceless.
Hear the
them that way.
congratulations from your colleagues.
Your words carry
The
more weight
key
than
here is
gold
to
in today's
generate
world.
the emotions of your
Look
future
at social
reality.
media.
Because when you
Millions of
combine a
messages
clear
sent every minute.
intention with an elevated emotion,
But how
you're
many truly
sending a
matter?
powerful signal to the
How
universe.
many actually change lives or create lasting impact? When you master strategic silence, you stand out on this sea of endless chatter. In business, watch how the dynamics shift when you become known as someone who speaks with purpose. Meetings become more productive because others know you won't waste time with empty talk. Your suggestions get more attention because people recognize that when you speak, it's meaningful. Your opinions hold more value because they're not diluted by constant commentary. Think about your personal relationships. When was the last time you really listened to your loved ones without planning your response? When you embrace silence, you create space for deeper connections. Your children share more because they trust you're truly hearing them. Your partner feels more valued because your responses come from a place of understanding, not reaction. Your professional growth accelerates when you apply this principle. In negotiations, silence becomes your strength. While others rush to fill quiet moments with concessions or explanations, you stay composed. This patience often leads to better deals, stronger positions, and more respect from all parties involved. Leadership transforms through strategic silence. Notice how your team responds differently when they know you choose your words carefully. They stop expecting immediate answers and start appreciating thoughtful responses. Feedback carries more weight because it's given with intention, not impulse. Consider how this affects your decision making. When you're not busy talking, you have more mental space to analyze, consider, and strategize. Your choices become more calculated, less reactive. You start seeing patterns and opportunities that you might have missed while busy filling silence with words. In learning environments, strategic silence becomes your accelerator.
You're telling it, this is what I want,
Instead of trying to prove
and
what
this
you
is who
know,
I am. Now, some
you
of you
focus
might
on
be
absorbing new
thinking, but
information.
Joe, I've tried
Your
positive
questions
thinking
become more
before and
targeted,
nothing
your understanding
changed.
deeper.
And that's
People notice
because
this shift and
positive
start seeking your input because they know it will be valuable. Your emotional intelligence grows through this practice. You become more attuned to nonverbal cues, better at reading situations, more skilled at understanding what's not being said. This awareness
Sit comfortably,
helps you
close your
navigate complex
eyes,
situations more
and
effectively.
focus on your breath.
Think
As
about
thoughts
conflict
come into your
resolution.
mind, and
When
they
you
will, don't try to push them away.
master strategic
Instead,
silence, you
acknowledge them
handle
and let them
disagreements
pass
differently.
like clouds
Instead of
drifting
adding
across the
fuel with quick
sky.
responses,
This
you
might
take
feel
time
strange
to
at
understand the
first,
core issues.
especially
Your
if you're not
responses
used to
become
sitting
solutions
still
rather
with your
than
own
reaction.
thoughts.
Your reputation shifts
But
too.
stick with it, because in
People
those
start
moments of
describing you
stillness,
differently.
something incredible.
As thoughtful, wise, someone who speaks with purpose. This perception opens doors because others trust your judgment and value your input more highly. Social situations transform when you apply this principle. You stop feeling pressure to fill every silence or have an opinion on every topic. This confidence in staying quiet actually makes you more interesting to others because you're not trying to prove your worth through words. In personal development, strategic silence becomes your foundation for growth. You spend less energy on unnecessary communication and more
Binary
meaningful action.
code, you're using the power
Your goals
of your
become
own
clearer
thoughts.
because you're not
So,
constantly
for the next
verbalizing every thought or
72
plan.
hours, I
Consider
want
how
you
this
to
affects your
commit
stress
to
levels.
meditating for at least 20 minutes each
When
day.
you're not caught up
Find a
in
quiet
every
place where you
conversation or feeling obligated to respond to everything, you create mental space. This peace allows you to focus on what truly matters. Your creativity flourishes in silence. When you're not filling every moment with words, your mind has room to explore new ideas, make unexpected connections,
and what you're vividly
and develop
imagining.
innovative solutions.
That's why athletes use
Some of your best
visualization
insights will
techniques to
come during these
improve their
quiet moments.
performance. They're literally
Financial decisions improve
rewiring
with
their
this
brains
approach.
for success. So,
Just as you'd
for the
carefully
next
consider
72
spending
hours, I want you to
$100,
spend
you start
time
evaluating the cost of your words. This mindset naturally extends to how you handle money and resources, leading to better financial choices. Time management becomes more effective. When you're selective with your words, you become selective with your activities. You start focusing on what's truly important instead of getting caught up in every discussion or debate. Your influence grows naturally. People notice that you don't speak just to be heard. They start seeking your opinion because they know you'll offer something valuable. Your words become investments that yield returns and trust. In team environments, this principle creates a powerful dynamic. Your silence encourages others to step up, share their thoughts, and develop their own leadership skills. You become more effective at guiding others without dominating conversations. Digital communication improves dramatically. Your emails become more focused, your messages more impactful. People actually read what you write because they know you only communicate when it's important. Consider how this affects your spiritual life. In moments of silence, you connect more deeply with your inner wisdom Your prayers become more meaningful, your meditation more profound. You create space for spiritual growth. Your physical health can benefit too. Speaking less often means less stress, lower blood pressure, and better breathing patterns. You might notice you sleep better when you're not carrying the weight of unnecessary words. Relationships with difficult people become easier to manage. Instead of engaging in every provocation, you choose your responses carefully. This control often diffuses tension better than any words could. Your problem-solving ability sharpen. When you're not rushing to vocalize every thought, you take time to analyze situations more thoroughly. Your solutions become more effective because they're well considered. Watch how your confidence grows. True confidence isn't in having something to say about everything. It's in being comfortable enough to stay silent when you have nothing valuable to add. The impact on your legacy is profound. People remember those who spoke with purpose more than those who just spoke often. Your words become part of your lasting influence, creating ripples that continue long after you finish speaking.